Have you ever been talking to someone and you could tell they weren't really listening? They were nodding, they were looking at you, they might have even said, "Yeah, I understand." But you could feel it. They were somewhere else, thinking about what they were going to say next, waiting for their turn to talk, checking their phone, or just pretending to listen so the conversation could move on. And if we're honest, we've all done that too. Someone is talking to us, and instead of really listening, we're already preparing our reply or thinking about our own opinion or trying to fix the problem before they've even finished explaining it. That's where most people get active listening wrong. They think listening means staying quiet while the other person talks. But real listening is much more than that. It's about making the other person feel heard. It's about understanding what they actually mean, not just the words they say. And when you get better at this, your conversations change. People open up more, you avoid misunderstandings, you build trust faster, and you become someone people actually want to talk to. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 simple active listening skills that can help you communicate better at work, at home, and in everyday life. Now, before we get into it, let me quickly introduce myself. Hi, I'm Jason, and for almost 20 years, I've been teaching career skills through my company, Courses for Success. And one thing I've noticed is that most communication problems don't happen because people can't talk. They happen because people don't listen properly. They hear words, but they miss the meaning. They miss the emotion, and they miss what the other person is really trying to say. So let's look at the 5 key skills that will help you become a better listener. The first one is to listen to understand. This sounds simple, but most people don't do it. While the other person is talking, they're already thinking, what should I say back? Do I agree with this? How do I prove my point? What advice should I give? And the problem is, once you start thinking about your reply, you stop fully listening. You might still hear the words, but you're not really taking them in. Active listening starts with a simple shift. Instead of asking yourself, what am I going to say next? Ask yourself, what is this person really trying to tell me? That changes the whole conversation. For example, if someone at work says, I'm really frustrated with this project, a poor listener might jump in and say, yeah, I am busy too. Or, well, you just need to manage your time better. But an active listener slows down and tries to understand. They might say, what part of the project is frustrating you the most? That one question gives the person room to explain. And often the real issue is not what you first thought. Maybe they're not lazy. Maybe they're unclear about what is expected. Maybe they feel unsupported. Maybe they're worried they're going to miss the deadline. You only find that out when you listen to understand, not just reply. The second skill is to stop interrupting too early. This is a big one. A lot of people interrupt without meaning to be rude. They think they're helping. Someone starts explaining a problem and they jump in with, "Oh, I know exactly what you mean," or "You should do this," or "That happened to me too." And suddenly the conversation is no longer about the other person. It becomes about you. I've seen this happen a lot in workplace conversations. Someone is trying to explain an issue, but before they even finish, the other person jumps in with a solution. The problem is they might be solving the wrong problem. Sometimes people don't need you to fix things straight away. They need a chance to explain what's going on. A simple way to improve this is to pause. Let the other person finish, even when you think you know what they're going to say, even when you have a great answer, even when you're tempted to jump in. Give them a few more seconds. That small pause can make a big difference. It shows respect, it gives them space, and it helps you hear the full story before responding. A good phrase to use is, "Tell me a bit more about that." That keeps the conversation open and it stops you from rushing in too soon. Skill number 3, show that you're listening. Active listening is not just something you do in your head. The other person needs to feel it. If someone is talking to you and you're looking around the room, checking your phone, typing an email, or giving half answers, they're not going to feel heard. Even if you technically heard every word, your body language matters. Your eye contact matters. Your facial expression matters. Your tone matters. You don't have to stare at someone intensely. You don't have to overdo it, but you do need to be present. Simple things help. Put down your phone, turn your body language, turn your body toward the person. Nod when it makes sense. Use short phrases like, "I see," "That makes sense," "Okay," "Go on." These little signals tell the person, "I'm with you, I'm paying attention, keep going." This is especially important in customer service, leadership, coaching, and difficult conversations. If someone is upset and they feel ignored, the situation usually gets worse. But if they feel heard, they often calm down. Not always because the problem is fixed, but because someone has finally listened properly. The fourth skill is to repeat back what you heard. This is one of the easiest ways to avoid misunderstandings. You don't need to repeat every word like a robot. You just summarize the main point in your own words. For example, "So what I'm hearing is," "It sounds like the main issue is," "Just to make sure I understand, are you saying that?" This helps in two ways. First, it shows the other person you are listening. Second, it gives them the chance to correct you if you've got it wrong. And this matters more than people realize, because two people can't walk away from the same conversation with completely different ideas of what was said. At work, this can create all sorts of problems. Someone thinks a task is urgent, the other person thinks it can wait. Someone thinks a decision has been made, The other person thinks you were just discussing options. Someone thinks they explained something clearly, but the other person heard something completely different. Repeating back what you heard helps stop that. For example, just to make sure I've got this right, you're saying the deadline is Friday, but the main issue, we're still waiting on approval. That one sentence can save a lot of confusion later. It also makes you sound calm and professional, not defensive, not rushed, just clear. Now, the fifth skill is to listen for what is not being said. This is where listening becomes even more powerful. Sometimes people don't say exactly what they mean. They soften it, they hide it, they talk around it. Or they say one thing, but their tone says something else. For example, someone might say, yeah, it's fine, but their voice says it's not fine. Someone might say, I'm just a bit busy, but what they really mean is, I'm overwhelmed. Someone might say, I don't mind, but they clearly do mind. Active listening means paying attention to more than words. Listen to tone. Watch body language. Notice hesitation. Notice what they are avoiding. Notice what they avoid saying. This doesn't mean you make assumptions. It means you gently check. You said it's fine, but I'm getting the sense there might be more to it. Am I reading that right? Or you seem a bit frustrated. Do you want to talk it through? That kind of response can open up much more honest conversation, and it shows emotional awareness. In leadership, this is huge. And in relationships, it's huge as well. Customer service, very important, because often the real message is underneath the first message, and good listeners know how to hear it. So here's a simple action plan you can use. First, listen to understand, not just reply. When someone is talking, focus on what they really mean. Number 2, stop interrupting too early. Let people finish before you jump in with your opinion or advice. Number 3, show that you're listening. Put the phone down, make eye contact, and give small signals that you're present. Number 4, repeat back what you heard. Use phrases like, so what I'm hearing is, or just to make sure I understand. And the 5th, listen for what is not being said. Pay attention to tone, body language, and the emotion behind the words. If you practice those 5 things, your conversations will become clearer, calmer, and more useful. In conclusion, active listening is one of those skills that sounds easy until you actually try to do it properly. Most people don't need you to have the perfect answer. They don't always need advice, and they don't always need you to fix everything. Sometimes they just need to feel heard. And when you can do that well, you build better relationships. You avoid confusion. You handle difficult conversations more calmly. And you become a much stronger communicator. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to keep improving beyond the videos, I'll include some free content in the links below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.